Streaming growth marches on. UK says, hold my beer. And Waystalkers? Welcome to the Unlimited Supply Podcast, your daily music business TLDR in your ear, powered by interest media replacing social media, and brought to you by NoDisc, helping music, technology, and finance companies navigate the music industry, and partnered with Digital Music News. It's June 17th, 2026. I'm Lars Murray. It's Viral Wednesday, but before we go viral, MIDIA Research published its annual music streaming market share report this week, and the growth marches on. Obviously, you'll have to pay for the whole report, but Mark Mulligan, Tatiana Cirisano, and company did put together a teaser of a blog post about the report. A couple of top-line takeaways. While the 10% year-over-year growth is a bit of a leveling off, the media team points out that it's not so much the growth number, but where the growth is coming from that's interesting. In short, there are three major trends: better monetization, the Global South, that's Latin America and developing markets in particular, and YouTube. Overall, there's a better gathering of the acorns falling off the streaming tree. That's increased average revenue per listener, read that as price increases. And the report also notes that 15 years in, it's remarkable that the streaming market is still growing, a trend that they say is rare for formats, although I'd want to check in on that one. If you've been following this podcast, none of this is particularly news. It's a confirmation that you've been listening and we're steering you in the right direction. One place that's definitely growing is Unlimited Supply supporter Qobuz. We're going to take all of the credit for that one. Over in the LA Times, August Brown sat down with Qobuz head old friend Dan Mackta to talk about Qobuz's 45% year-over-year growth this past year. Not bad for Xing the market, and its recent A2IM Libera Independent Champion Award, a deserved victory lap in the LA Times for Mr. Mackta. There's a link in the show notes. All right, let's get viral. Over in social media today, Andrew Hutchinson is reporting that YouTube has announced a new music series, YouTube Music Nights, consisting of a dedicated concert and a content package of live streams and associated clip content in creative collaboration with the artists. Always a good sign when big streaming launches a targeted content promotional platform at the music industry. It's a sign of healthy competitive environment, and it's always nice when a streamer hands over some coveted real estate to, the artists. The initial participating artists announced by YouTube include Casey Musgraves, Bleachers, and Isaiah Rashad. Over in the news you can use department, if you've been using Edits as your content creation platform, I've got some good news for you. Over at TechCrunch, Aisha Malik reported last week on an invite-only product rollout session for creators. Edits is launching a desktop app, which will undoubtedly simplify a lot of workflows. Edits is also adding an AI assistant, which is pretty much table stakes these days when it comes to content creation tools, not only for helping editing and creation, but also in inspiration, the brainstorming tools that YouTube and TikTok already have and Edits will now have. Undoubtedly, this is going to make it easier to identify and jump on trends. Of course, it's also likely to speed up the process of AI feeding on itself and concentrating creativity around those trends, which is a little disheartening if you ask me, though the true creators will always stand out. A bit more news you can use in case you missed it. If you're a UK marketer or creator targeting teens, your life is about to get a little more complicated. The UK has announced a teenage social media ban following in the steps of Australia. It's basically telling Australia to hold its beer. And while the concept of the UK telling Australia to hold its beer is a complex and potentially incendiary topic, what it means for music marketers is a lot more strategic focus and tiptoeing around what's going to be a more complex regulatory environment, which is probably both a pain in the ass for marketers and a good thing for society as a whole. And if the UK's proposed social media ban has you feeling a little optimistic about our collective ability to deal with the potential downsides of our hyper-connected world, this item should relieve you of your optimism, silly human. Now we all know that Mark Zuckerberg will generally stop at nothing to keep Meta growing. Over in Wired, their privacy correspondents Dell Cameron and Dhruv Mehrotra are reporting that Meta has tapped into a company founded by, yes, former FBI and CIA officials to help optimize the facial recognition technology built into its stylish Ray-Bans. What is that frame style again? Waystalker? Surveilliator? What could go wrong? Now it's entirely possible that both companies are working together in this way to provide facial recognition technology that will prioritize the privacy of users in all contexts, protect them against predatory marketing and unauthorized government surveillance, and make sure that you, the citizen, and you, the consumer, are protected against devious abuse of the technology. It is entirely possible. It is also entirely unlikely, as is the case with anything uncovered by investigative reporters rather than announced proudly in a press release. As for what is actually viral this week, on TikTok, a couple for the olds, 4 non-blondes, What's Up is resurging following an AMA nomination for Best Throwback Song. A new generation is discovering it for the first time. Also, Plain White Tees is Hey There Delilah. The band shared an interview about the song's backstory, which introduced it to Gen Z, who are now using it for long-distance friendship and relationship content. Katy Perry's The One That Got Away was already trending for different reasons, but it's morphed into the soundtrack for the top 5 horror movies list trend, wherein users create titles to painfully relatable situations. Tyler, the Creator's Sugar on My Tongue is a little bit newer, but it's still over a year old. A go-to for outfit reveals, lip syncs, and cheeky edits. It's still rocking away after all this time. Khalid's Young, Dumb, and Broke is powering a wholesome high school sweethearts trend. Old couple photos followed by a current clip of them still together, often with kids. How touching. Olivia Rodrigo dropped her album on Friday, and Drop Dead is the biggest crossover track from TikTok to Instagram. The slowed down clip featuring the lyric "The Most Alive I've Ever Been" is paired with milestone snapshots and travel memories on TikTok, and over on Instagram, it's fueling breakup arc content and emotional photo dumps. Also on Instagram, Justin Bieber's Daisy is the backing track for just about everything: cooking videos, travel clips, and outfit checks on Reels. And speaking of cooking, Megan Thee Stallion has launched yet another trend. It's not a sound, but apparently her cooking videos have mashed up with Hot Girl Summer for a new combined trend, Hot Girl Dinner. Our viral correspondent Lydia Valentino is with us this week. What do you got, Lydia?
Hey Lars, we've got a strange developing story this week. Rubbers, a new single by Phoenix Flexin, best known as part of LA rap group Shoreline Mafia, but is now pivoting to a synth-pop sound, got 5.3 million streams last week. There's an unnerving question on everyone's mind, however. Are we sure this is actually him, or is this song AI generated? I'll admit, I'm not sure. Every live performance of it is transparently lip-synced, but historically that's not exactly a smoking gun. Phoenix himself said that he's just using auto-tune, reverb, and a, quote, fake UK accent, and, there's no shame in that. There's even another leaked track from his upcoming project, which he said is going to have more genre experimentation. And yeah, this second song is also very synth-pop. That at least checks out, so what's the holdup? There's still something very uncanny valley about this song. Maybe it's the lyrics, maybe it's how oversaturated this kind of 80s nostalgia is. So I do think there is some smoke here, but I cannot say if there's fire.
Thank you, Lydia. You can check out Lydia's V30 playlist on YouTube. There's a link in the show notes. And that's another Viral Wednesday. Support for Unlimited Supply is provided by you, our listeners. Sign up for a full year of support, and you'll get the full year's membership at a 20% discount. And you'll also get the Unlimited Supply Merit Badge Trucker Hat. It's the ultimate accessory for the music industry insider. It's available at our online store, and there is a link in the show notes. If you like what you hear, go buy a hat, or at least go hit that follow button wherever you get your pods. I live for your praise and encouragement in person, but it helps a lot more if you drop us a rating and or a review on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or Spotify, and tell a friend or three. And now we're on Substack, too. Links are in the show notes, but you can also visit unlimitedsupplypod.com to sign up for our newsletter, to tell us what you think about the show, to suggest feature ideas, to feed us info, to feed us lunch, to call us out on our dubious assertions, and to tell us what we're missing out on. I'm Lars Murray, and remember, in this business, no conflict means no interest.